Hello, everyone. Here is your Flagler weather update for the week ahead. Today is the 20th of July, 2025. We're looking at a satellite image across the state of Florida. As you can see, there's not a lot of clouds over the area. That tells us that things will probably be staying dry and hot. And yes, indeed, it is hot out there. Heat advisory is in place for today, and that heat advisory will probably be reissued again tomorrow by the National Weather Service. So let's take a look at the tropics real quick. We do have one area of concern, but there's a very minimal chance, 10% chance of this developing, according to the National Hurricane Center. No other issues out there being watched by them at this point. Going further into the future, now, there's been some chatter. He's probably seen it online about development in the Gulf. Right now, we do not have any potential for that through the end of July and into early August. Now, it doesn't mean that something could possibly try to spin up in there. It's possible, but it's not very likely, at least right now. And of course, chances are increasing in the Pacific. But things staying relatively settled as we go through the month of July and into early August. So let's talk about what's going to be happening with our weather here the next several days. As we go into the Sunday here, high pressure in control. Excuse me. Chance of a shower or storm, but generally staying dry across the county, across the area. Now, as we get into Monday, take note of this front up here. This front starting to sneak in. When we get to Tuesday, this front gets closer to us. They call this a backdoor cold front because it's coming in from the northeast. Low pressure begins to develop along it. This is not a tropical low pressure system. That is expected to move across Florida and settle into the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to bring a lot of moisture with it. And yeah, could it possibly go tropical? Try it maybe. It's always possible, but right now it's not in the forecast. So, but it will bring some unsettled weather to the area. So let's talk about rainfall. So we're looking at, for the next 7 days, 2 to 3 inches of rain, but it's going to be dry today. So let's talk about that right now. Rain chances. So right now, as we Sunday rather, looking like a below 20% chance of showers or storms on Sunday. And then as we get to Monday, those rain chances increase to about a 50 to 60% chance. Better chances inland in the western part of the county. And as we get into Tuesday, those rain chances pop up quite a bit. So now this is where that 2 to 3 inches of rain is coming from, because those rain chances will be increasing as we go into the week ahead here, getting near 90% by Wednesday. And then the rain chances staying high into Thursday. It does not mean it's going to rain the entire day. It just means that anytime during the course of any one of these days, it's very likely you will see rain. And it doesn't mean it's going to rain all day long. So as we get into Friday, still some pretty elevated rain chances, but they start to come back down a little bit. And as we get into Saturday, the rain chances get back to what we would expect them to be for this time of year, about a 50% chance. Of course, a little bit better at the inland locations. Let's talk about temperature right now, because that is a big deal. We do have heat advisories up and everything going on. As soon as I get the website to call up there. So high temperatures for today. Yeah, there we go. Getting into the mid to upper 90s at most locations. Beaches staying in the lower 90s there. And then as we get into tomorrow, still kind of the same result. And then as we get into Tuesday, still quite hot, but not as hot as been the last few days, with temperatures getting into the lower to mid 90s. And then as we get into Wednesday, temperatures peaking right near 90 because we're expecting more cloud cover and more chances of rain. And as we get into the end of the week here, staying right near 90 for highs. And then looks like we start to climb back a little bit as we go towards the end of the week here, with Saturday temperatures getting back up into the mid 90s. Looking at low temperatures, generally in the 70s, and that's kind of the same. So if I pick any day this week, we're looking at temperatures bottoming out mid 70s inland, upper 70s near 80 at the beaches, and that's going to be consistent throughout the week. But the main thing is the heat index. Let's take a look at that. So right now, the heat index numbers for Sunday, over 110 degrees for many locations, and that continues into tomorrow, kind of a repeat with tomorrow. As we get into Tuesday, still getting up to 110 degrees with those heat index numbers. This is what the actual air temperature will feel like because of the humidity and all those other factors there. We start to come down by the middle part of the week, and then as we get into towards the end of the week, we still over 100 degrees, but not 110 like it was. But then we start to go back up as we get to Friday, and then we start to climb back up even further on Saturday as more sunshine gets back into the picture. So let's take a look at the long-range forecast now for the area, and taking a look at 6 to 10 days. Here in Flagler County, look for temperatures to be generally averaging above normal, precipitation near normal for the next 6 to 10 days. And as we go further into the future, going into the end of July and into August, we can expect generally, again, a chance of above normal temperatures here. And maybe just a slight chance of above normal precipitation. And going into next month, looking at August now, we're looking at temperatures to be averaging above normal, precipitation maybe above normal as well. We could use that extra rainfall. At the beaches, rip current risk moderate, UV index extreme. Make sure you're using sunblock, sun protection out there. Surf temperature anywhere from 82 to 87 degrees, more likely near 82. So anyways, that's going to wrap things up. We appreciate everyone taking time to tune in with us today. Of course, we'll be back in the middle of the week with an update.